Hello, welcome to Chapter 6, Section 6, Solving Systems of Linear Inequalities. We are going to graph these. For this video, and in my planning for making these videos, I wanted to discuss whether we draw them by hand or whether we are allowed to use the technology. And one of the things that really makes things work is this, Desmos. I'm loving Desmos. We use Desmos a lot in class. I'm going to move this so you don't get the reflection of that light. All right. Now, almost all the video, actually all of them, in all of the graphs that I've done so far, and there have been a lot, if you've been watching these videos in order, I've done every single one by hand. You will be responsible for knowing how to draw by hand. Okay, that is a skill. However, you will also be allowed in some situations to draw things using the technology. I'm not going to ignore the technology. It's really made things a lot better. So what I decided to do was, instead of, if you made it this far through all these videos, you're probably getting the hang of how we do it. And I'm gonna bank on that. I'm gonna count on that. So what I'm going to do with these, I'm just going to draw them using Desmos. Every single one. All right? So we'll do these side by side. I have y is greater than 2x plus 3. And this is the cool thing about Desmos. I can't do it with the paper ones. I can like move it away to zoom in or pinch it to zoom out. For the other one, I have y is less than 2x. Okay, now in this section we're going to be talking about the parallel lines, but I want to mention a couple things. First of all, I can tell by the fact that this is greater than, that's less than, without any equals, that both of these are going to be dashed lines. Hopefully you guys can see the dashed lines. I can also figure out where the boundary lines, the slope of both of them are 2. They are parallel. The boundary lines are parallel. This one has a y-intercept of 0, this one has a y-intercept of 3. So they're not the same line, but they have the same slope. So they're parallel. And then I get into, do I shade above or below it? This is where there's no overlap. I can zoom way far out and it gets smaller, but it's still that space right there. So that space between them, there's no overlap. Let's do this one. I'm going to move this over here a little bit, if I can get my finger underneath it, so that you can see everything together. All right. So I'm going to back up this one. This is y is less than or equal to, so see the less than or equal to? And actually, let me hide this one real quick too. You can tap on the X to make them disappear, but I'm trying to keep them there so that I can keep, it'll keep changing colors every time I do something else. I'm trying to keep them the same colors. Negative 3x subtract 1. So y-intercept is negative 1. The slope is negative 3, so it's going this way, and it is a solid line. Let's try the other one. Y is greater than or equal to negative 3x plus 1. So like the first one we did, number 9, we have this empty space between the two lines. And double check, make sure I did everything right. Yep. Let me make sure I typed it in right. We have this empty space, so again, there's no overlap. So I'm going to go back on these two. I'm going to write no solution, and this one also was no solution. And that's not always going to be the case, but if the lines are parallel and the areas are shaded away from each other, then it will be. Let's try to line this up so you can see everything. There you go. And you know what? I'll do problem 11, then 13, so I got both of them right there. And then I'll switch over and do the other two. All right, let's go back to this one. Let's back it up. I have y is greater than 4x subtract 1. And this one, I have y is less than or equal to 4x plus 1. All right, So let's look at what I got here. Both of the boundary lines are parallel. This one is dashed. That comes from the green one. This one is solid. That's the red one. So we knew that that was going to happen. But this area in between is the overlap. So all the points in between here, that's where the solution is. So this one does actually have a solution. Let's look at problem number 13. Just going to reset just a little bit. Y is greater than 2x subtract 1. I got to be honest, I'm just going to say this while I'm doing this. I don't usually use Desmos on the iPad. I know you have your iPad and you have Desmos on it. I usually use my laptop and I go to like the Desmos, the web page actually. So I have to like kind of poke around. I don't usually use the pop-up keyboard. So I got y is greater than 2x minus 1, and y is greater than 2x subtract 4. All right, so let's look at this one. I have this area over here where nothing's shaded. I have this area where only the red is shaded, and I have this area where the green is shaded, and the green is completely inside the red. So the green and the red together, that's going to be the overlap. All right. Trying to get everything in the camera. Back it up a little bit here. Y is less than negative x plus 3. Nope, sorry. I switched them around. Doesn't matter. It'll be okay. Y is greater than negative x plus 2. So again, I have two boundary lines that are parallel. Both of them are dashed because I don't have or equals for either of them. Sorry. And this area in the middle where it's overlapping green and red, that's the solution. And then we'll do one more. Y is less than or equal to, oops, that's what I did last time too. Y is less than or equal to negative 3x plus 4. Move that around so you can see it. And then y is less than or equal to negative 3x subtract 3. So like the problem we saw a moment ago, I have the open area over here where nothing is shaded, just the green, so only one of them is here, but then this, I don't know, brownish color where it's both green and red. So this is the area where both of them work. Okay, so again, I'm trying to show you a mix of doing it by hand, which is a skill you have to learn, and doing it by using the technology, Desmos, which is also a skill you have to learn. And you're probably wondering, well, this looked easy. Why don't I do this all the time? When we get to more advanced stuff and we're not that concerned too much about you graphing it by hand, you will be able to. But for now, we need to make sure that you have those skills. Think of it as learning skills. For all of you that are in sports, remember sometimes you do drills that you may not think are like that much. For all the kids, for all the times I've seen my kids play hockey, for all the hockey drills they do is they go from one end to the other end. Sometimes you think, okay, really, is that playing the game? But it's actually helping you learn skills along the way that will make you a better player. So, and that's all that I'm doing. I'm just trying to provide different skills for you. All right, we'll see you in the next video.